students. Welcome to the digital class session of biology. Now today I am going to take a practical class. So in today's online practical class of biology, I am going to show you the experiment, or I am going to tell you about the experiment where you need to study the pollen germination on slide. So this experiment, that is study of pollen germination on slide, this experiment I am going to basically show you the practical demonstration in today's class. Now since this is an online practical class session, due to the current scenario it has to be online only, we have no other option left with. So due to this online practical class session, you have to be more careful and more cautious, because whatever you are seeing in form of videos, or you are seeing in form of presentation. Now whatever it's been shown in this video, this has to be done by you while you're giving or while you're appearing for your practical examination. I hope you know that you need to appear for your practical examination, a proper practical examination where you have to practically demonstrate an experiment. So whatever the process that are being shown in the videos, or whatever the process, or I'm telling you about the sequence, whatever the sequence that has been shown in this video, please see them properly, follow the instruction, because if you properly follow the instructions, then obviously it will become easier for you to perform the experiment practically when you are in school. Okay, so let's start with today's discussion, and as I tell you, pay attention so that you get your concepts absolutely clear. So let's start. So the objective of this experiment will be to study the pollen germination on slide. Okay. Now when you are performing an experiment, you need certain requirements. So now let's focus on the requirements which you need for this experiment. A mature healthy flower, that is, you can take Hibiscus rosa sinensis, that is your China rose, which is commonly available in the market. You can also go for Vinca rosea, that has also been available, but obviously China rose is more preferred. Now you need a clean glass slide, a cover slip. Now when you are handling glass slide, there is a particular way of handling glass slide, because whenever you are you have to use a clean glass slide, and whenever you are handling a clean glass slide, you cannot touch the glass slide on the middle surface of the slide. You cannot touch the slide with your fingers on the middle surface, because if you do that, again your slide will be greased. Greased means it will be oily. Now whenever a glass slide is brought from a market, obviously it has certain grease on the glass slide that has to be cleaned, means the oil has to be cleaned properly. If it's alcohol is being used for cleaning the glass slide, then it will be much more better. And once cleaning, you cannot touch the surface, the middle surface of the glass slide, because that is the surface where we are going to do our work, we are going to do our experiment. So therefore if you touch on the middle surface, you are again going to change that slide into a greased slide, means you will be again changing into that oil free slide into an oily slide, which you have to be avoiding. So there is a particular way of handling with a glass slide. You have to touch the glass slide by your fingers on the two sides of the slides. Okay, two sides means at the two corners. Okay, two ends of a glass slide. Okay, you can touch it in lengthwise also. According to the lengthwise, there are two ends, you can touch it in that way also, and according to the breadthwise, they have again that two wide surface, that also you can touch, but you need to touch them on the corners, you cannot touch them on the middle surface. That you need to keep in mind. Okay, then you also need a clean greased free cover slip. The same way we are going to make the grease free, we will be using alcohol, because alcohol give proper result. Otherwise you can there is a particular way of making it grease free by using detergent powder. Okay, now distilled water, it's an important requirement. Measuring cylinder, this is also an important requirement, because we need to measure the distilled water, and then only we will be proceeding forward with this experiment. Beaker, where we are going to prepare the solution. Sucrose, very much important requirement. Magnesium sulfate, potassium nitrate, boric acid. So these are some important requirements which are very much needed for this experiment. So now I'm going to show you the practical demonstration that is related to this experiment. Now make sure that you're following all the steps properly and you're following the sequence, because it's very important to follow the sequence and follow all the steps so that your concept which is related to this experiment, or the concept for this experiment, gets absolutely clear. Because when you are appearing for your exam, you need to perform this experiment practically. Okay, so first I'll tell you the requirements. Now as you can see, you need a fresh mature flower. Now this fresh mature flower can be your hibiscus, which is your normal China rose, which has been easily available in the market. And it can also be Vinca rosea, that has also been available, but obviously hibiscus is more preferred, okay, since it's been very common. Then the next requirement which you need, I'm going to show you. See, the glass rod. So this is a glass rod which is required in this experiment. Okay, you also need a dropper. So this is a kind of a dropper. Now this requirement is an important requirement. This is called a glass slide. So this glass slide is basically an important requirement for this experiment. Okay, and it has to be grease free. Grease free glass slide means oil free glass slide. Okay, now the next requirement is obviously distilled water. This is also an important requirement. It's 100 ml of distilled water. Okay, potassium nitrate, 20 milligram of potassium nitrate. Okay, now next requirement is 30 milligram of magnesium sulfate. Okay, these are your chemicals which are required to prepare your nutrient medium. Now this is also an important requirement, that is your 10 milligram of boric acid. Now let me tell you, keep this thing in mind, that obviously 10 milligram, it's been used for certain experiments, but if it's not working out in 10 milligram, then what we generally do, we go for 10 gram. So that's why both the possibilities can be done. Either we can take 10 milligram of boric acid and 10 gram of boric acid. Now 10 gram of boric acid has been mentioned in your book, that is also correct, and 10 milligram of boric acid, that is not absolutely wrong, right? It's not absolutely wrong. So this is one possibility, and 10 gram of boric acid is another possibility. Because when you're performing an experiment, you have to keep this in mind, that your experiment can be successful also, your experiment can fail also, means it can be unsuccessful also. So if it's unsuccessful, then you have to make it successful by making certain changes, like certain changes which have been very important. So you have similarly, it's been seen to prepare a proper concentration media. Sometimes 10 milligram of boric acid also works, and sometimes 10 gram of boric acid also work. But all this 20 milligram, then your 30 milligram, 10 milligram or 10 gram, all these have been properly measured in your digital balance, or you can say a physical weighing balance, and then only these quantities should be taken. Okay, now approximate value, sometimes it becomes certain differences have been noted in case of very small differentiating features like 1 or 2 grams extra. That doesn't matter, but obviously you have to try to take the approximate value, and if it's not possible, then again this certain changes can be done, but that will not hamper the experiment. But obviously, to get a proper result, it's very important that you take your approximate values. Now little bit differences does not make an experiment unsuccessful, but you have to be very cautious while you're performing an experiment. Okay, and your next requirement will be very important requirement, that is your 10 gram of sucrose. Without sucrose, this experiment cannot be performed. Okay, so these are your requirements, or you can say materials required to perform this experiment. So you need a compound microscope also, because you have to study the pollen grains, you have to study their stages, you have to see the formation of pollen tube, and without compound microscope that is not possible. Okay, so now let's focus on the procedure. So how you are going to perform this experiment? So first of all, you need to prepare a nutrient medium. So how will you prepare this nutrient medium? You are going to prepare this nutrient medium by dissolving 10 gram of sucrose, 10 gram boric acid, or as you can use 10 mg of boric acid also, 30 mg of magnesium sulfate, that means 30 milligram of magnesium sulfate, and 20 milligram of potassium nitrate in 100 ml of distilled water. So how much distilled water you will be taking? 100 ml. So you will be measuring in a cylinder about 100 ml. You are going to take the distilled water about 100 ml, and on that distilled water you are going to add the previously measured quantity. That is the reason I asked for a physical balance, because in the balance only, by using a physical balance or a digital balance, you are going to measure 10 gram of sucrose separately and keep it in a watch glass. Again you will be measuring 10 gram of boric acid or 10 milligram of boric acid, and you will be keeping it in a watch glass. Again you will be separately measuring 30 milligram of magnesium sulfate, and you will be keeping it in a watch glass, and 20 mg of potassium nitrate has to be measured separately and kept in a watch glass. That means 4 watch glass are required. In that watch glass, 4 different quantities like 10 gram sucrose, 10 gram boric acid, 30 milligram magnesium sulfate, and 20 milligram potassium nitrate. All these 4 quantities are to be separated and kept. Okay, and then you have to add those separated quantities in 100 ml of distilled water, and then you need to mix well. You have to stir it well with using a glass rod. Okay, now after preparing this nutrient solution, because this is your nutrient solution, you need to add a few drops of this nutrient solution at the center of a clean grease free slide, and then you have to dust the pollens. You have to dust the pollen. Now this procedure is also shown in the video, so you will be following the video. The pollens will be dusted on it by bursting the anthers of your mature flower. Okay, now the pollens are observed under the microscope after 5 minutes, and then at regular interval of about half an hour. Okay, so this is the entire procedure. So now you will be seeing the procedure, how you will be performing the experiment. Okay, now in this experiment I'm keeping it to 10 mg of boric acid, but when you're writing in your copy, strict to whatever it's given in your book, that is 10 gram. Okay, because as I told you, with 10 milligram also it can be done, and with 10 gram also it can be performed. Okay, now see, 10 gram sucrose is added to 100 ml of water. Okay, so this is your first step. Next, boric acid. Okay, now 30 mg magnesium sulfate, then 20 milligram of potassium nitrate. So all are added. Now I will be using my glass rod to mix up it well, to stir it well. Okay, now see, the mixing up process has been done properly. Now I will be using this dropper. So I'll take some drops of nutrient solution on this clean grease-free glass slide. Now this is my hibiscus. Now I'm going to dust some pollen grains. Okay, so now after dusting, as I told you that you need to dust the pollen grains from the flowers. So this after their pollens have been dusted on the slide from the burst anthers of your mature flower, the pollens will be now ready to observe under the microscope, but it has to be given certain time period. Now it will be done after 5 minutes, and then it will be done checked at regular interval of about half an hour. Now I'm going to show you how you will be applying the cover slip on the slide, which is a very important step, and then I'll show you the application of a petroleum jelly just for temporary preparation, because this is a temporary preparation of a slide. So just to make a proper slide, application of petroleum jelly is done, but that is up to the person. If they are not comfortable, they generally avoid that step. So now you just follow how the cover slip has been applied. See, can you see how the cover slip has been applied with the help of a needle? And then this is the petroleum jelly. So the petroleum jelly is added to seal the sides of the cover slip so that the air bubble doesn't enter. Because if the air bubble is entering, then obviously the cells will get damaged. The cells will not be able to be properly visualized under the microscope. So that's why this petroleum jelly has been applied. Now after half an hour, if you observe under the microscope, then again I'm showing you the image which you will be getting. See, this is the microscope. We need to place the slide in this portion. See, observe it properly. See, this is the portion, this is the stage portion. So after performing the experiment, what will be your observation? So in this presence of suitable nutrient solution, you will be seeing your pollen grain germinating. The tube cell will absorb water and nutrient, will get swelled up and will come out from the germ pore as pollen tube. The pollen tube itself will get enlarged. The tube nucleus will move towards the tip of the pollen tube. The generative cell will also migrate into it. The generative nucleus will divide into two male gamete. The male gamete can be lenticular to ellipsoidal in outline. The male gametophyte does consist of body of the pollen grain, pollen tube, tube nucleus and two male gametes. Okay. See, the cover slip has been applied and now it is absolutely ready to observe under the microscope, and this has been done after 5 minutes. Now you will be able to see what is happening after 5 minutes, what you will be seeing under the microscope if you have followed the procedure properly. See, this is the observation. So this kind of a certain observation, this is just a basic observation which you will be able to see under the microscope. So this is your pollen grain. It's a structure of a pollen grain which you will be able to see under the microscope. Okay, now see, it's marked properly. Now see the observation which you will be seeing under the microscope. These are your pollen grain structure. Now you see it's been shown, the markings have been also done. Now see, this is your exine. This is your inner layer, is being termed as your intine. You have a nucleus and this is your cytoplasm. Okay, so these things, obviously these markings you won't be able to see. You just need to figure it out on your own. You know that this is your outer layer, this is your inner layer, but this kind of structure you will be able to see under a microscope. Okay, so now just for convenience or just for checking purpose, now I will be checking after 10 minutes. Then what after 10 minutes, what you will be able to see, that also I am showing you. See, formation of tube nucleus. Formation of tube nucleus will take place, and a generative cell will also be noted after 10 minutes. Okay, so as I'm increasing the time, I'm going to get more and more feature because I have to give time for the cell to show its function. This pollen grain, I have to give them the time that they can show their functions. Now again after 30 minutes, now I will be seeing, now you can see how the growth is taking place. Okay, so different, see, prominent growth has been taking place. So the more time you give them, see, these are your male cells, tube nucleus, proper tube has been formed. See, first time after 30 minutes if I check, I will be getting my generative nucleus. Okay, I will be also getting to see the tube nucleus. Now again after 30 minutes if I see, I will be able to see the male cells and the tube nucleus. So now you can see a proper development of pollen tube has been almost done. This is your proper development which you can see under the microscope, and with that you will be getting your different parts of your pollen grains, like your male gametes, your tube nucleus, exine and intine is obviously there, which is your part of a pollen grain. Okay, so this is the way the experiment is performed, and if it's been performed successfully, obviously you're going to get successful results. So this is the observation part of this experiment. Get this type of observation. This is the microscopic observation. Okay. So while you are performing this experiment, there are certain precautions you need to adopt. So what are those precautions? First of all, you need to be very much cautious about the flower which you are selecting from the market, because as I told you that the flower should be mature and it should be healthy. The nutrient solution should not overflow the slide, so you have to take appropriate quantity. It's not that too high, not too low. It's a little amount. It's not like too low also. It means too low means it can be compared to too low only, because just a little amount of nutrient solution is needed. You can see in the video that how much solution was taken. So it's a little amount of solution is needed so that it doesn't overflow from the slide, because when you are putting the cover slip on the slide, it should not float on the slide. That's the point, because if it floats, then my pollen will also float. Okay, and the slide should be obviously clean and grease free. Okay, so these are certain precautions which you need to adopt while you are doing this experiment. Now please go through this presentation properly. If you have any problem anywhere, any steps you did not understand, then please do mail me in my mail ID which has been given at the end of the presentation. The first experiment will be to study pollen germination on slide, and the date of the experiment will be today's date. Okay, so today's date should be mentioned as the date of this experiment. Okay, now after mentioning the date, you have to write the objective, requirements, procedure, observation, precaution, one after the other, and then obviously you will be drawing the diagram which is given on page 3 of your laboratory manual of biology, which is your laboratory manual for your practical classes of biology, that is been published by Nandi, Ghosh and Shatra. You have to follow that book, and on page 3 of that book, that is the first page of your book only, the starting experiment, that is the experiment which we have studied today. Very important experiment. You have to draw the diagrams. Okay, and as I told you, no black pens should be used for drawing the diagram. Everything should be drawn with a proper sharp pointed pencil. Okay, and each diagram should have a proper labeling. Okay, please keep that thing in mind. No black pens should be used, not for even labeling, not for even making the outlines to make it attractive. No, you don't need to make it attractive, you just keep it very simple. You have to use a sharp pointed pencil for drawing as well as for labeling. Okay, so please follow the instruction and perform your work according to the instruction. You can consult me in my, obviously you know that where you will be consulting, obviously in my mail ID you will be sending your doubts, then obviously I'll answer them. My mail ID has been provided at the end of the presentation, and even mail ID for sending your feedback is also been provided at the end of the presentation. So if you have any feedback, you can mail us and let us know. So thank you and have a great day.